Alright, so this video will focus on Chapter 7, Section 5. And the first thing we're going to do is kind of that review of either cross multiplying, where I cross multiply, so 9x equals, I don't know, 160, 56, 1 or 216 or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But if I would divide it, I then get 24 as my answer. So you cross multiply, or you can find the scale factor. So like 9 times 3 is 27, and then 8 times 3 is 24. You could also look at this one here. So this might not be the easiest scale factor one, so maybe I would do the 14x equals 140. And when I divide it, I get 10. For this one here, 36 and 90, it might be a little tricky. I understand that I could probably pull a 6 out or do something with that, but I still don't know what it is exactly, so I'll cross multiply. So I have 36x equals 720, and I get 20 as my answer. This one as well, not really friendly numbers, so I'm going to say 3x equals 84, and then x equals 28. Again, not very friendly numbers here when I look. So 14x equals, what would that be? 1,200, I think, or so then divided by 14 is 80. And then this one here, if I would go, I could actually probably, I could just take rid of this. So I have, this would be 4 goes into 18, well, a little over 4 times, like 4.5 times. So I'd probably cross multiply on this one as well. So I have 4x, and I get 81 as my answer. So what I want to do is enlarge and reduce a drawing proportionally. So if this one here says that this is my centimeter grid, and it says that each centimeter equals 40, I know for a fact that from here to here equals 80. And then this looks like it's like half, doesn't it? So I'd say that this is equal to 20. So the whole length here looks like it's 100. And then my width would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 times 40 is 160. So it's 100 times 160. And this, of course, is turning into meters, right? When I do this. So I have my 100 times 160. So when I do the area, it will be quite a bit bigger. And it says find the actual. So I did that right here, and I got my 100 times 160. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take a look at a few other things here. And it says the diagram shows a sketch and painting, and each unit represents 8 inches, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 here. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 6 by 6. And so I have 6 by 6. For my, this inches here, it's times 8. So 6 times 8 is 48 by 48. All right, so that's what I'm looking at there. I'm now going to go into this right here where it talks about scale drawing, and it's proportional. So two-dimensional drawings of an object. And there's a scale model, is a proportional three-dimensional model of the object. So I have the drawing, which is two-dimensional, the model, which is three-dimensional, and the scale, which gives the ratio that compares the measurement. Okay. So for instance, if I have my drawing distance, which is 1 inch, and my actual distance is 10 miles, my scale factor would be 1 inch equals 10 miles. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Like right here, for instance. If I want to go from Cadillac to Detroit, so I'm going this distance here, I'd probably get a ruler out, and I'd see how many of this section here fits in there. So let's just take this. So essentially that right there. Let me just move it down. So I have, let me just draw it here. So I have one segment here. I'll move it over. Looks like I have 2 segments. Move it over. Looks like I have about 3 segments, right? So it's really, I'd have 3. Let me write this down here. So I know that 1 centimeter equals 50 miles. And I just said that I had 3. It was what I just got, right? 3. So I'll put the 3 on top. And what would that equal in terms of how far? Well, this scale factor is 3. So I multiply this by 3. This is an x before, because I know what it is. And 50 times 3 is 150, right? Now I can also cross multiply and take 3 times 50 and get 150, and this equals x, so x equals 150. Either case, that's what I'm going to get. Let's look here. So it says that my distance is about 3.5. I must have not measured properly, but if I do that, it's the same kind of steps that I did. 150. I used 3. They had 3.5. We'll do the same thing, so I can have 3.5 times 50. I get 175, and this equals d. So their distance is 175, and mine was 150 based on how you measure it. Next one says that the outer liquid core of the Earth is 2,300 kilometers thick, and a scale model of layers is 1 inch equals 500 kilometers, right? So how thick is the liquid outer core of this model? So I know that it is, I'm going from, I'll take 1 over 500. I'm going to label it too, just so I know what I'm talking about. So it's an inch over km, right? Equals, and now I'm going to put the km on the bottom, so I have 2,300 over x. Kind of what it's showing here, just so you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it go over there. Come on. Well, in any case, when I do this, I'll have 500x equals 2,300k. And when I do that, I'll end up getting 4.6 when I start dividing. And that's the answer, so it would be letter B. And it's really just setting things up in the proper place, right? Now it says that it's 2,900, so I do the same thing I did before, where I put down 1 over 500. I put x over 29. And when I solve it, I should get 5.8. All right, so this next one says the scale model of Sergeant Floyd Monument is 10 inches tall, and the actual monument is 100 feet tall. So what's the scale of this model? Well, I know it's 10 inches to 100 feet. So let's write this down here. So I'll say 10 inches to 100 feet. But can I simplify that at all? So I can kind of take off a 0 here and take off a 0 here, and I'll have 1 inch equal, or sorry, 10 feet. And that's what I get here. 1 inch equals 10 feet. And then it says, what is the scale factor of the model? So before I said, what is the scale, which is what we got, but the scale factor is a little bit different. I want to actually have the same unit here. So 1 inch equals how many feet? I'm sorry, how many inches? And I know that there's 10 feet, so let's put it into inches. So I know that there's 1 foot. I'm sorry, 12. 1 foot equals 12 inches. And if I have 10 of these, 10 times 12 is 120. So I could just say that I have 1 inch equals 120 inches, right? Which is what we're doing. So that's how you do the scale factor. For this one, it says that the drawing has a scale of 1 millimeter equals 20 centimeters. So what's the scale factor? We know that this is the scale, I got that. But the scale factor means I want them to be in the same unit. So how do centimeters compare to millimeters? Well, we know that there are 10 millimeters in every 1 centimeter. So I'm just going to go through and just multiply this number by 10. And I'll have 1 millimeter equals 200 millimeters, right? That's what that would be. So that way they're the same. All right, and the very last one is, so imagine that I have my scale factor, which is 1 to 87, and it says that the model train is 0.3 inches. So I'm going to take 1 times 0.3, and then 87 times 0.3. And when I do that, I'm going to get 26.1, because 87 times 0.3 is 26.1. And that's the lesson.